Hi everyone, welcome to the 8th episode of the Arbiter Stream. With me is international arbiter Pozomos Geontopoulos from Thessaloniki. We are going to look at the touch move part 3. This is the final touch move part. We are going to focus on castling again with in combination with illegal moves. Welcome, Pozomos.
And hi everyone, Prodromos Gerontopoulos, the national arbiter, social worker from Thessaloniki, Greece. And here we invite you to the 8th episode of the Arbiter Stream with a very good friend, Fide arbiter Mark Bryan. We're going to analyze the illegal castling, the second part of the illegal castling, and the touch move, which is about situations and positions about castling. King side or queen side. So, is there any question, Mark? Is there something that you want to discuss?
No.
Otherwise, we
Yes.
can go to the first example.
Let's move to the first example.
Yes, why not?
Yeah. So,
you can introduce, Mark, and we can explain later on. Yes.
So, in the first example, we're looking here. So in this position, black just played bishop b4 check. And with this move, the bishop is attacking the king. And white castled kingside. But as well as castling kingside, while doing so, they did play with both hands.
Yes.
So this is so here we see two violations on the same move.
So and this is a very common question for many chess players and many arbiters. So you can continue, Mark.
Yeah, so here we're going to look at 3 questions. We're going to focus on 2 questions regarding this topic. How many illegal moves are there? So, like, how are we going to punish it as 1? Are we going to punish it as 2 illegal moves? Because this is a very important question. Because with 2 illegal moves, a player loses the game.
Lose the game. Yes. This is a common question from many, as I said previously, from players, chess players, and arbiters. They want to give the penalty for 2 illegal moves because there are 2 penalties in 1 move.
Yes, which is very important to know how we should handle that kind of situation, as well as what are the differences between the time controls. Is there any difference in approach? So yeah, well, let's go with
yes. Here, in every move is 1 illegal move. This is as an 1 illegal move for the player with the white pieces, not 2 illegal moves. Although the white king is in check, the player with the white pieces replied with the move castle king size with both hands, with 2 hands. And this, the fault is 1 illegal move and not 2 illegal moves to stop the game and to give the win to the player with the black pieces. The penalty here is for 1 illegal move. To give it not, although there are 2 faults in 1 move.
Okay.
So the viewers have to know that this in this position, this diagram, if it happens in a chess game, it's for 1 illegal move and not 2. So how many illegal moves are there? Are only 1. Is there any question? Any other?
Yes, we have a question. We have a question that is not part of this example, but we will reply to it once we've gone through this example. So hi VTH36, we will look at your question in a few minutes. Once we've gone through this example, we will go straight to your question and answer it.
Okay. So it's is that clear?
Yes.
For everyone. if it's clear, we can carry on. We can continue to the second question of this diagram from the first example. What should an arbiter do in each of the following situations? In a standard game, in a rapid game, in a blitz game. We can explain them one by one. In a standard game, we have the score sheet and from the players, 2 score sheets. So we can find out easily about the penalty and the fault. And to find out that it's one illegal move and to give the penalty. And if it's a standard game, the penalty is 2 minutes to the opponent. You took back the move and to add 2 minutes to the opponent and to minus to 30 seconds because the player with who did the illegal move pressed the clock and earned 30 seconds.
Yes, exactly. We need to remove the 30 seconds and move
Remove
also back the foul.
30 seconds from the player who did the illegal move.
And the move
made
counter.
The illegal move. Yes.
And the move counter has to go back, yes.
Yes, and also the move, yes, the move counter. In a rapid game, in a situation in a rapid game, this has to do if the arbiter is present. Either on blitzer game. There are not so many differences. Otherwise, the player with the white pieces who will defend himself will deny it about the irregularity. And to say, no, it's only one illegal move. No, I played, and if it's completed the move and the player with the white pieces replied with the move castle king side, and then we'll deny to the arbiter to say that, no, it wasn't an illegal move. But it's a fair play, this. If the player it's a good character to say, yes, it was my fault, and give me the penalty.
Good evening, Vera.
Hello, Vera. Is there any other questions, something to discuss in this
No, for this question, I think we've covered all topics.
Yes.
I was just wondering, with the illegal move, is there like a specific article in the arbiter's manual that specifies how many that the illegal moves will be counted as one? Or is this not mentioned in the arbiter's manual?
Yes, I think not. Yes, you can give explanations from the manual. Yes, you can do that, Mark. It's good. Or in the 4th article. Otherwise, on the 7th, about the illegal move. 7.5.1 or 0.2.3. Uses 2 hands. Yes, this is 7.5.4.
Yes. No, it doesn't.
About the 2 hands. As you see, yes, this 7.4. 7.5.4, yes. If a player uses 2 hands to make a single move, for example, in case of castling, capturing, or promotion, and press the clock, it shall be considered and penalized as if an illegal move.
Okay.
This is the
yeah, I found it. Let's show the
that explains
manual.
The irregularity.
This with the irregularities not being. So here it says it here in the gray box. This is here. Says here 2. The player's fault if he completes 2 of any of the above illegal moves. However, when there are 2 illegal moves in one move, for example,
Yes.
illegal casting made by 2 hands, illegal promotion made by 2 hands, and illegal capture made by 2, they count as one illegal move, and the player shall not be forfeited unless it is a second such transgression.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
here it does explain that we should not count 2 irregularities as one in these situations.
Very good, Mark. Yes,
This
you
is
explained it very well.
In the article 7.5.5. So before we go to the second example, let's go to the question from Vasilis. Vasilis is
Yeah.
asking if a player offers a draw in a blitz game, which is where draw offers are not allowed. What is the punishment?
Before the 30 completed moves, like criteria of Sofia,
Yeah,
something
something like
like
this. No,
that.
where they say no draw offer is allowed.
Yes, it's forbidden to offer, but also this is the case that you can offer draw after the 30 completed move from the player with the black pieces. Many chess players made the mistake, and when the player with the white pieces played his 30th move, then offers draw to his opponent with the black pieces, and it is illegal.
So
It's not
basically,
allowed from the schedule, let's say illegal.
but you do
It's
not
not
punish the
allowed
player.
from the schedule of the competition.
But you do not punish the player with a 2-minute penalty.
No, you can't. You didn't accept the draw and say to the players to continue the game.
Just continue the game. Yes.
Continue the game, yes, without to give any penalty.
Unless if both players agreed to a draw and they already left the playing hall, then they are both forfeited.
Yes, so if it's there a deadly position or a threefold repetition, it's something different. Many players in the first 10 moves made the threefold repetition.
Yes.
And made draw in order to avoid the Sofia criteria to play 30 moves.
I don't remember when this happened with Rafael.
Is there any question? Another
Yes,
question?
he's asking on a specific situation 5 years ago.
Yes, it's good to have discussion with the viewers. This is very vital. It's very useful.
When did we have no draw allowed?
It depends on the schedule. It
I don't
depends on
remember
the
that in
schedule of the
Cyprus
competition.
we have no draw. Usually we don't have a no draw policy. Vasily, we had a no draw policy or? Yes, yes, and I asked you to come back and play again. Yes. Yeah, we might have had a no draw policy at some point. Yes, exactly, Vasilis. Yeah, the game just continues. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I was the arbiter 5 years ago for that situation. I don't remember. Okay. Yeah, exactly. That's how it should be done. A draw is not accepted, so that they usually start again. Unless the players have really gone. If the players have gone, the organizer might or arbiter might decide to default the players. Okay, let's continue with example 2.
Yes, if there are no any other question, yes.
Yes, this.
We can continue. We can carry on.
So here in the second example, if you have any other questions, feel free to send it to us. We were happy to answer all questions. So in the second example, we have a rook on AD1, which white has just played. And with this move, they are controlling the D8 square. Despite this, the player with the black pieces, they play castle queenside. So here, if black, so the player with the black pieces just castle queenside, which is illegal.
Yes.
And we're going to look at what happens in this situation. So the questions
Yes,
are:
there are many questions. Yes.
what should an arbiter do if the player with the black pieces has not yet pressed the clock? What should an arbiter do if the black piece had pressed the clock? So they did press the clock.
Yes.
And what are the differences in rapid blitz and standard time control?
This has to do with the fair play. Let's say about the penalty of the illegal moves. In the first question mark here, what should an arbiter do if the player with the black pieces has not yet pressed the clock? In this situation, the player with the black pieces, if he had touched first his king, it's mandatory to play the black king in a legal square, not to play another piece, for instance, the knight or the rook from h8 square. It's mandatory for the player with the black pieces to play the black king, for instance, to e7 square or to f8 square in a legal move in a legal square.
Castling is also allowed, yes?
Also allowed, but the king side castle. Yes, I'd say also this. To make, this is the view. Yes, that's right. This is the what to have for the finale of this position, for this diagram. Also, the player with the black pieces has the right to make castle king side. That exists, all these things, if the player with the black pieces touched first the black king. If the player with the black pieces in this position make a castle queenside and first touched the rook from a8 square, then it's mandatory for the player with the black pieces to play only the rook from a8 square to a legal move, let's say to b8, to c8, or to d8 square, without making castle queenside.
Yeah.
These things are the case here about the explanation of the position. Is there any question mark from the first?
It's fine.
So we answer clear the first question. So we can carry on to the second
We
question.
do not penalize a player because the move has
If
not
he
been completed.
didn't press his clock, yes. But should have the first touched piece. It's obligated, it's mandatory, let's say, to play the first touched piece.
No, it is not legal to touch first the rook in castling Vera. So if you do
Yes,
castling
not to
with,
make castling. No, no, with the rook first.
if
No,
you
no.
touch the rook first and you castle, castling is not valid. The rook move is
Yes,
valid, and you put the king back to the position,
that's right.
and the rook move is the move that has been played, and you punish the player for an irregularity.
That's right.
It's an illegal move. Actually, I think there is a difference here. I think it does allow here.
The pawn on c5.
No, I think the Fide laws of chess say that if the castle is completed, you may play the rook wherever you want to. Yes.
In which position? Which case is the?
Let's look
Can
at
we see the? Can we see the
arbiter manual.
manual?
Yes, let's look at the manual
Yes.
to answer the question from Vera. It's article 4.5.
Yes. For if none of the pieces touched.
So 4.4.2.
Yes.
If you deliberately touch a rook and then the king, they are not allowed to castle on that side on that move, and the situation shall be governed by Article 4.3.1. So in this case, the
Yes.
player must move their rook if possible. But since they already made the move, we would force them to have played the rook move, since it says here Article 4.3.1,
That's right. Yes.
and here
This
it
is
says
the explanation. Yes.
one or more of the opponents touch the first piece that can be moved, must be moved. Yes.
Yes.
But
This is
here
why in this
maybe
example
if
I
they
gave two castle, or both castling, king side and queen side, in order to explain the rule.
so here's the act of moving. So then it goes here. Uh, so here Article 3 from oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, here. So yeah, the player needs to move their rook, as it says here, Article 4.3.1.
Yes.
And then it's I think yeah. So this is this situation. And when we going back to the question from Vasilis, yes,
Yes.
if you even if it's illegal, before pressing the clock, if it's an illegal move and I have not yet pressed the clock, I can change my move. Only if it's illegal. Only if it's illegal I can change my illegal move. But I
Yes.
have to do so by playing the piece I have touched first. So if I touch the king first, I may castle on the other side. As long as I haven't pressed the clock first. If I have pressed the clock, then it's already a legal move. Otherwise,
Yes.
not yet.
It's a completely illegal move if you press the clock. Yes.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you didn't press the clock, has the right to make a castle from the other side, the king side castle, in this position.
Okay, so let's go to question 2 where we are looking at what happens if you have already pressed the clock.
If the with the black piece press the clock, it's a completely illegal move.
And again,
Then you
the
have
same
to.
options are available.
Yes. Yes.
The only difference
It's
I think is that in one situation you get punished, in the other situation you do not get punished.
yes, that's right. This is the differences between compare and contrast. Let's say the differences between the first question and the second question in this diagram, in this position.
Yes, and then again with the rapid blitz or standard, we have 1 minute punishment instead of 2 minutes punishment.
Rapid, yes, and standard game it's 2 minutes punishment, and only on blitz it's 1 minute.
Yes, in blitz
1 minute,
sorry, in rapid it's 2 minutes. Yes.
2 minutes it's rapid, not one. Two
Yeah, yeah, no,
minutes.
it's 2 minutes. Yes, it's two
And
minutes for
only
rapid.
in blitz is one.
It's
It's
blitz in
3 minutes and 2 second increment. It's per game, so
yes. So
it
in
will
rapid
give
it's
1 minute.
2 minutes, and then in rapid and blitz, since we don't have a score sheet,
But in rapid and blitz, that's right because we don't have score sheets. We can prove the irregularity so easily. It's a fair play from the players to accept the fault.
yes. Let's go to before we go to example 3.
Yes,
Uh,
is there any question?
if I hold a piece in my hand for a very long time, I can be punished for disturbing my opponent. Yes.
It's warning first. It's the article 12.9. You can see
Yes.
you
Let's
can
move.
show this
Let's,
to the viewers.
yes, Vasily. Yes, Vasily. Yes. If the opponent does complain, the first the first way is that it comes into a sense of warning. You should not be holding a piece at all times.
Yes,
The same is like you cannot be holding the clock. You cannot be keeping the clock pressed, yes, or keeping your hand on the clock. So in
yes.
Article 12.9,
12.9.1.
it's we start usually with a warning
Yes, the first of all.
first of all, and then the arbiter usually decides to continue with increasing or reducing the remaining time of the offending player, one of these choices.
Yes,
But usually it's the increasing the amount of time. Yes, this is usually the situation. Here, I think reducing the remaining time is when the player has kept the clock paused for a
yes,
very long time. Then I would be reducing the time. And then here, this increasing the points, reducing the point, declaring the game lost. This is when the player continues to, after being punished with a time penalty, then the player will get uh, this punishment with the loss of the game. And then
yes,
the fine is usually in big international events where they have fines already in their regulations where you sign contracts.
yes. You have to give one 9 actions in one game in one player. It's something the player has problems. Then
Yeah, so usually
this is
usually the fines are though for contract obligations.
yes.
where you did not follow the contract obligations, and then here exclusion from one or more rounds on expulsion. This is usually very severe if you continue doing this in a very regular uh, period of time, like in the same tournament, like every round you get punished.
Yes.
I had to do this to a player. I had to warn a player that I was going to exclude them from the event if they continued
Yes, this is something very
belittling the
bad, very
opponents.
to do many things the players in the game in order to act like that.
Yes. So let's go back to our third example.
Yes. Example, the third example, let's say number 3. In this position, the player with the white pieces played the move castle kingside with both hands and pressed the clock, becoming a checkmate position.
Yes, this is an interesting question.
Interesting question. It's happened very many times on blitz or on rapid games. If you are running out of time, if you're are pressed from the time from the clock, that many chess players act like that in order to take some bonus time.
Yeah, so it's just like habit,
Yes.
So the question is, we have three questions. What should
Yes.
an arbiter do?
Yes,
The
if you
main
are if
question
an arbiter, let's say
is
if an
checkmate.
arbiter is present and see this irregular, this fault,
Is it checkmate? Yes or
how
no?
yes, how will he act?
And then we'll see what happens if we have not yet pressed the clock.
Yes.
Are there any differences between the games, between the time controls? So in the first question, this is not checkmate. Checkmate cannot be done by illegal move.
Yes.
So no, sorry, this is
This
not
has to
an.
do on a blitz on a rapid game. Maybe the
Yes.
player with the white pieces in this position will talk to the arbiter and say this it's a checkmate position. I win the game. How the player with the black pieces will prove that in a blitz game? If there no any score sheet off or the arbiter wasn't present.
Okay, so then here it is checkmate because
Yes.
despite castling with both hands,
Yes.
the move is valid.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's not that you cannot castle king. No, no, of course. I mean, if you can castle king side and play king f1, you will never be forced to play king f1 because castling is a king move.
It's a kick move. So has the right if it's the first illegal move, let's say, to give the penalty and to
But there's no
humiliate
penalty.
the
Yeah,
player
but
with
there's
the
no
black
point.
pieces, then has the right to play castle king side with a legal way, with one hand.
Yes, but you don't. No, you just punish the player. No, you don't punish the player because it's checkmate. I mean, it's finished the game. The game is over. The
Yes,
move
finish the
counts.
game with an illegal way. This is the case here.
So you're gonna ask them to play it again?
Because it's a illegal move to make a castle with two hands. But in a blitz game, yes, then how to prove it? If it's a player with a white piece, no, one hand. And the player with the black pieces, no, my opponent played castle kingside with both hands. How to take a decision there?
Yeah, it depends. If I trust if I have good experience with one player lying, then
Or in a school tournament, let's say, maybe you will see that in a school tournament or in a youth rapid tournament.
yes, we need to be very very keen with
Not
the eyes.
so many times, not always in a standard game. It's very rare.
Yes, it's on.
But
So here, it is actually checkmate though. Checkmate counts. Unless if it's a second
because it's a
illegal move.
final position with this
Yes,
is.
because it's a legal move, no?
But if the player with the black pieces claim to the arbiter that my opponent made an illegal move,
And it's a second illegal move,
then yes, what happened it will be the second illegal move for the player with the white pieces.
they will be declared lost because black can.
Lost the game.
But
Also, others for seminar. This is a seminar.
okay,
Diagram.
I
Seminar.
understand how. Yes, now I understand how this should be punished. Okay, so here we have an irregularity because we are playing with two hands, which is not allowed.
Yes, of course.
So the thing is, the castling king side is not a move that was played because it was played with two hands. So then the
Yes.
discussion is with which piece did you touch first, with it, which is the king.
Yes.
So
if you touch the rook first on h1 square, you have to play the rook.
alright, so then because you touch the king first, you are allowed to play whatever move you want with the king. If the now, so this is not checkmate since white will play now again. This time with the king and only with one hand. So because the
Yes.
clock was pressed, black should get 2 minutes. 2 minutes on the clock. If it's a standard game. If it's rapid, if it's blitz, it's only 1 minute. And now, if the clock was not pressed, the player will just do it again.
Do it again, yes, and to play a legal move with a
Yes,
legal way.
with a legal move with a legal way. Yes. And then if the flag fell.
Yes.
If the flag fell.
Also, I have to make a second diagram here without the pawns.
Yes, without the pawns, it's a draw.
Without the pawns.
No, white can castle Vera. White can castle. They can castle, but it's not forced to move.
Yes, of course.
So if I lose on time, I lose on time. Because my move was not completed in the okay, it's very funny. It's a very funny situation.
It's for seminars. This is very good for seminars. If you did this to give this topic to the arbiters, how many of them will answer correctly?
Okay, yeah. No, I should play first with the king. Yeah, yeah. It's touch move of the king.
Yes.
It's touch move of the king, so I should play the king first, and then I can play the rook. I can still castle. I'm still allowed to castle because castle.
Yes, he has the right to castle. Yes, that's right.
I can still castle. This is fine. But it's a way. It's again. I think this is open to interpretation again. Some arbiters might interpret that castling is a completed move.
Also, this is a ending position. We don't know if the rook on h1 square is already moved.
No, you don't lose the
and
right
go
to
back
castle.
to the. If the player with the black pieces claims that the rook on h1 square has already moved to other squares and then go to the first position, how can you prove that? If it's a standard game, you can find out from the score sheet. But in a rapid or a blitz game without the arbiter to be present or without score sheets, how can you prove it? The player with the black pieces will claim that yes, the rook has already moved.
Yeah, so yeah, we need to. Yeah, this is the difference between
this is why I said it's for seminar. This is a diagram for seminars.
Going Vasily with a move 50. If I have it, the 50th move, I have to have made after completing 50 moves. Then it's a draw.
If you don't, if it's not move the pawn or the capture any piece.
Yes, but if I checkmate on the 50th move, it's checkmate.
Yes.
Also, you have to claim it. The player has to claim it, so the player has to claim it in the right way. If the player does not claim it in the right way, it's not a 50 move draw.
Also, if the arbiter is present, has do that on the 75th square. Excuse me, move.
75th move, yes.
Yes. To stop the game without any intention from the players, and to give the final result.
Yeah. I had this not this in the previous round from the Cyprus closed chess championship between two players. There was a 3-4 repetition, and after the 3-4 repetition, the player went on to blunder and lose the game. It was not draw because the player did not claim the 3-4 repetition.
Yes.
So the player lost despite it being a 3-4 repetition beforehand. It's very important the player has to claim a draw. Claim it also in the correct manner. Otherwise the claim will not be heard. Okay, so let's go
Yes.
to example 4.
Yes, of course.
So we have this. This is a funny position. I really like this one.
Yes.
In this position, the player with the white pieces played the move castling, touching the rook first and becoming a checkmate position. So the question
Yes.
is, what should an arbiter do if the player with the white piece has not yet pressed the clock? What should an arbiter do if the clock has been pressed? If there is a flag fall,
Yes.
and then we have the normal thing with the standard rapid blitz. Just to note that after rook f1, the position is already checkmate.
Yes.
So I think the game has already ended despite any irregularity taking place afterwards. Is that correct? Or
Yes, of course.
so the arbiter should just declare the game lost after rook f1 checkmate. And it doesn't matter whether the clock has been pressed or not.
In which question? The first or the second question?
First or second, both. I think it doesn't matter.
Yes, both. Does exist? Yes, that's right. In both questions, both of the first and the second one. What should the first question? What should an arbiter do if the player with the white pieces has not yet pressed the clock? It's a checkmate position. This is the case.
I think it also makes a difference
Final.
how I do it as well. So because if I play rook f1 first and then
Yes.
put the king, then it's checkmate. But if I
Yes.
touch the rook first and then touch the king and then castle, it's not checkmate.
It's not checkmate. But if I first, this is the yes, that's right, Mark. This is something you do. You find out the line. What I said. If you first touch the rook and you played it on f1 square, it's also a checkmate position without make castling. Do you see that?
Yes, this is so it's checkmate without even playing.
Without castling, to play the rook from h1 square to f1 square, without castling. But if it's a blitz game and you are running out of time, and you didn't see them checkmate move, and then you play castling, illegal castling with a wrong way. If you play the rook here, it's checkmate position. But if you make, and after that you move the king on g1 square, and if you press the clock, it's a completely illegal move here.
Yes. Yes.
Don't press the clock. You have to go back.
Yes, but I have to
illegal
go back
castling.
only to here because I already played it though.
Yes. This
I
is a
already
teaser.
left
You
it.
don't have to. Yes. You have to play the rook.
No, but I already left it, so I cannot play again. I cannot play another move.
Yes. So the game ends before you touch the king. If you play the rook on f1 square.
Yes, so if I play rook f1 and then move the king, and do
Yes.
not press the clock and say this is checkmate, it is actually checkmate, but because of this.
Yes.
But if I have pressed the clock,
The
I
move,
have
yes.
completed an illegal move.
Yes.
So I go back and I have to play with my rook first.
Yes, to play the rook. Yes, that's right.
And now the question is if flag falls. So if flag fell where the rook was here before the king moving, then this is checkmate. But
Checkmate position, a final
yes,
position. Yes.
if my flag falls and I had the king here, this is not checkmate because I had not yet completed the move. Although I'm going to continue completing the move, this is not yet completed, so the game is not over. So the here black wins on time. If my king was here, it's because it writes it in the arbiter's manual. The move is not considered complete until the rook is actually sitting next to the king. Yes. The other question was?
Example, the third and the fourth examples are for seminar. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's very good.
This is
You
topics for
checkmate.
seminars. It will be useful for you, Mark.
Nah, it's very good.
Is there any question about the
Checkmate always beats the time. Vasily, if there's checkmate on the board, it doesn't matter if the flag has fallen or not. Checkmate counts unless the arbiter is present and sees that the flag fell and then you went on to checkmate. So basically the arbiter has to tell you look, the flag has fallen. It's If the arbiter has told you flag fall and then you go to play your move, then it's of course flag fall. But if you do checkmate and then your flag has fallen, or your flag has fallen, nobody realized, and then you checkmate counts because
yes.
checkmate ends the game. Do we have any other questions?
Do you want to explain any rule, any regulation about?
No, Vasily. No, your opponent does not need to claim the time anymore. The flag fall is something an arbiter uh, can also claim now. If an arbiter sees a flag fall, the flag counts. Okay. Exactly, Vasily, because you cannot prove what has happened first. Checkmate counts. But if the arbiter saw that your opponent told you that your flag has fallen and then you still play checkmate, the arbiter will declare the game lost because you lost on time. Depending, of course, on the various circumstances. Sometimes it's a stalemate. Sometimes all moves lead to a false checkmate, so it's still a draw. Yes. So yeah, it's not. So you hear it's like it depends a lot on the arbiter seeing the situation and then the honesty of the
Yes.
opponent. This is why arbiters should be quite alert. The clock, Vasily, the clock stops. When you go to zero, the clock stops. The clock doesn't give you 30 seconds after the time runs out. What do you mean you have 30 seconds? No, you have to press a clock to have the 30 seconds. If you don't press a clock, you don't have 30 seconds. Yeah, you get the increment after pressing the clock, Vasily, not before you
Yes.
press the clock. I cannot claim I had 30 seconds because they would give me time. It's usually always checkmate, counts. Unless the arbiter sees the flag and informed you, or the opponent saw the flag and informed you before you even checkmated the opponent. Okay, my time could be out for a long time, and I still play, I still checkmate. Checkmate counts. I mean, if the arbiter or the player or opponent doesn't see it, it's not my problem. Checkmate counts. Yeah? But of course, if the opponent or the arbiter sees it and tells you about it, checkmate does not count, because then I cannot go and then play checkmate. Tell them, it doesn't matter, it's checkmate. It depends on when you were informed about it and if the arbiter watched it. Yeah. I hope it makes everything sense. Any other questions? We've actually finished with our examples for today.
Yes, we finished with the episode, with the examples, with the topics. But it was good, it was very vital to today's episode because of the discussion on every example with the questions and the answers and explanations.
Next week we will have a very, very difficult topic. We will do some maths and calculations.
Yes.
We're going to look at how the Buchholz is calculated.
Yes, from Swiss Manager.
Yes, we're going to look at how the Buchholz counts, especially with a lot of buys, a lot of players getting points without their opponents showing up. All these effects, we're gonna reproduce the Buchholz score of each opponent, of each player of a tournament. We have selected a tournament and we will go through how the Buchholz is counted for each player.
Yes.
And how this affects, because this was one of the questions we've had from several players that take part in tournaments. They don't understand how all the Buchholz tiebreak works. So we will be making a video on that. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. Vasily is asking queen and king on the wrong square. Yeah, the game is usually restarted until the 10th move. The game is restarted.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, no?
We can create a topic for that in a future episode.
Yes.
About regularities, the initial starting position, it's about the 10
Of
moves.
course, okay, this, just to answer this one very quickly. If by move 10, by 10th move, by black 10th move, this has not been found, the game continues as if it's normal.
There are differences between a standard and game and a rapid game.
Yes.
You have to mention that.
I'm gonna actually show this on show the arbiter's manual.
Yes. If you go to the rapid or the blitz.
So here it says, if a game has started, if a game is found that the chessboard has been placed contrary.
7.3.
Yeah, but this is reversed colors.
On the fourth, it's a 4 article. You can see that on the fourth article.
Where is 7.4?
No 7.4, the fourth.
I know, but there's no 7.4. Isn't there? Shouldn't there be 7.4? This is Article 4.
Article 4th is that you said looking for. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .
It doesn't say one. It's an article. Ah, 7.2.1. Okay. So if during a game it is found that the initial position of the piece was incorrect, the game shall be cancelled and a new game shall be played. Okay?
Yes, if during a game,
If
yes.
during a game it is found. So here, yes, the
I have created a video with the initial starting position.
yes,
If
so
you remember, with
yes,
the queen
I
and the
think I
king,
still remember that. Yes.
and what king made the checkmate position on h5 square.
Yes, for the standard per game, it does mean the game is, of course, cancelled and the new game shall take place. But now when it
Yes,
goes to Rapid and Blitz,
to rapid and blitz, if
we
you
have
go
the
to
10
the
move situation.
yes, and
I
not you go
remember
higher.
losing against a Grandmaster due to this.
Yes,
I played in a Blitz tournament in 2006. And the king and queen were wrong way round, and the GM saw that, but he used it against me, and I couldn't take one of the pieces back because my king and
yes.
queen were wrong way round, and he wouldn't let me switch it. So yes,
You go to the rapid one,
a
appendix
rapid,
A.
yes, appendix A here, article A.4.4.1. So from the once 10 moves have been completed by each player, no change can be made regarding incorrect setup or orientation of the chessboard. Incorrect king placement, casting is not allowed. In case of
Yes,
incorrect rook placement, casting with this rook is not allowed. Yes, this is how it is, Vasily. You should check the chessboard before you play a rapid or blitz game. You should never trust your opponent. Never. Check the board, always.
yes,
I learned it the hard way. I will always remember that loss due to the king and queen being reversed. It was one of the typical openings where you needed the queen to take on d4, but because your king and queen were reversed and it was already after 10 moves, I was not allowed to take the piece. So yeah. Okay, so I think we have finished for today.
yes.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for all that. Thanks for watching, for the support
Yes.
from Mark and Makis here. I hope to see you in 2 weeks for episode for pairings and switch manager system on chess results and criteria and many things about computers and how to create and to calculate the pairings.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. See you next time.
Bye bye.